May, as long as it's May, I'm sketching every day on a live. If it's not May, I'm sketching every day by myself, which like is fine. Nobody's sad about that. Hey, this is yesterday's sketch. I am just logging in so I can read the chat, and then I will start on today's sketch. How do I connect to YouTube? Nobody knows at all. How do I connect to YouTube? Okay, here we go. Oh, hey, Alan. How are you doing today? How do I connect to YouTube? Okay, here we go. Oh. All right, let's get sketching. I think today I am going to do some animals. I mean, some faces. I've been doing animals every day, and I love animals, but I've run out of cute animals. Oh, good. Good to hear. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good today, too. I was a little tired. On Monday, Tuesday right now, I do a ton of work on a pet project. I'm trying to make a video game with my friend. And so we work on that 2 days a week. And so my sketches on those days are a little shorter, but yeah, all right, let's get some faces going. Yeah. So I draw faces a lot for shorts that I do. I haven't drawn faces on a live. I'm going to start with a gnome. I really like drawing gnomes. I feel like I do it in a certain style. You'll see. You'll see. Let's get their heads on. I think I've drawn a gnome before. So, I mean, I've drawn gnomes before. Gnomes, their hats are actually like a coming of age rite in the original fairy tales about gnomes. And it's rather violent. They get the big beard. And let's get the big bushy eyebrows. Their hats are red, so the juvenile gnomes' hats are not red. I think they're white or, like natural fiber color. And then we'll do the nose right here. I'm just trying to like gauge where the face is going to be so I can start. I always draw my gnomes with like big bulbous noses. I don't know why. Huh. So I was talking about the video game I'm working on. Maybe you're asking about that. We are doing a little YouTube, like to keep track of our progress, and that's left on red games, like red, like somebody texted you, or like yeah, and you left them on red. If that's what you're asking about, that's that. If you're asking about the gnomes, I don't know what the coming of age ceremony is called, but they dip their hats in blood, and that's how they do that. Okay, let's get the mustache going. We'll do a bushy, but oh, thank you so much. Yeah, you too. Summer, it's getting nice here. It's supposed to rain today, but it has definitely been nice. I just a hawk. We were just listening to hawk sounds, and then a hawk just came and shooed a bunch of birds off of the roof, like really close to where I was. It was really funny. I saw him fly into the window, going like making like hawk noises, like the quiet, like little. I can't imitate a hawk. And then all of a sudden there was like the big flapping and all the birds scattering, and I was like, whoa. Hawks and crows fight pretty regularly, which I did not know until I started seeing it and then looked them up. Bye, Alan. Thanks for stopping in. All right, we're doing the gnome. He's a happy fella. How's the zoom level? Pretty good, pretty good. Ugh. I'm just gonna grab a little scrap so I don't, not only don't smudge, but it's like the paper can warp from my hand. I don't know what it is. All right. And I'm just gonna make this, because he's a gnome, let's make him really short. We'll give him ears. Let's give him some ears. How is his hat holding up without ears, right? Okay, and now we'll give him little feet. And some boots. Tongue of the boot. And the side of the boot. And the laces of the boot. That's what makes a boot. All right. We'll give him some detail for his pants. I wonder, do gnomes wear pants? I assume they do. This guy's like really wide stanced. His shoulders are like here, right? It's like he's standing like really like he's not messing around. So we'll put his hands on his hips. Oh, that's too high. His shoulder has to be lower than his chin. I messed up. That's cool. It's sketch day, May, not finished drawing May. That's for June. Finished drawing June. That'd be crazy. Where you just finish drawings that you've been working on. Actually, that doesn't sound like a terrible idea. Maybe I'll do something like finished drawing June, where like once a week I finish some drawings. Yeah, if you're here, I am going to do live drawings. And like, even if you don't think you're gonna want to stop by or whatever, it's not for you. I'd still be interested to hear your opinion. I'm going to be doing 1 day a week or maybe 2 days a week live drawings in future. I've really enjoyed doing it. I just cannot continue to do it every day, but I do want to continue to do it. What days for you would work? Like, would be most, when you would be most likely to tune in? And like I said, even if like you don't think you'd tune in to me, what days still would you be available if theoretically you wanted to tune in? That's pretty good. Give him some, let's give him like short sleeves. It's a very casual gnome. When I think of gnomes, I think of them dressed in like old-fashioned clothes, because I guess I imagine they're making the clothes themselves. But like, they exist in the same world as humans, right? So like they could see what is going on with human fashion. And maybe some of them are like, man, those humans, they wear something called a t-shirt. That looks pretty cool. And some of the old guys are like, we prefer what they call Henleys. All right, it's a pretty decent gnome. It's a really long beard. Yeah, it's a really long beard. Let's give him some beard detail. This is just what I look like on a good day. Man, his shoulder, I thought I got the shoulders pretty lined up, but somehow I'm terrible. There we go. All right, let's draw a couple faces. We'll do I tried to draw, well, less talking, more drawing. Here we go. Okay. So I'll shape this if you do a pointier chin, it's gonna appear more feminine. Oop, too pointy, too pointy. If you cut the circle right in half, then you can do the eyebrows here, the eyes here, the nose at the bottom of the circle, the mouth right below that where it belongs. You know, belongs compared to the mouth. And there you go. That's pretty much, you have a little bit of hair above the line, but the circle, the top of the circle kind of encompasses like the puff of the hair too. And you get the basics of a human person. I very often will cover one ear with hair and then bring the hair on the other side behind the ear. I don't know why. I just feel like drawing two ears is too much for me. I'm inherently, it's much harder to draw something that has to be on both sides of the face because you want it to be more or less symmetrical, depending. And so it's important that you make that choice. And sometimes I'm incapable of making things symmetrical. I'm just not very good at it. Although I'm getting better and better. So there's some things here that I learned recently that I started doing that I think make a big difference and make it nice. Like the nose. For a very long time, I really struggled working on noses, and I would do so much work to try to make the nose like look real and like be shaped like a nose and guide up into the eyes. And I realized like with the nose, it really started to feel like less is more. With just a couple of lines, and you get the shape of the nose, and the brain, I guess, of the audience will fill in the rest. I started doing the same with the bottom lip. Like you can see, I'll do one here. If you draw like a mouth shape, right? That's a pretty bad mouth shape, but still you can get this bottom lip and top lip. I'm doing a terrible job, but I think it'll still get the point across. And then like say teeth or whatever. And that's pretty, pretty crazy teeth. Eh, that was a bad. I did a rush example and it was poor. Um, but I think the point still stands. Sometimes hinting at something is better than trying to draw it in, because the best artist is always going to be the audience's mind. And I try to keep that in mind when I'm drawing all the time. It's not always easy to know what's going to work. Okay. Eyes I've been struggling with the last couple days, which is weird because I draw eyes all the time and they're fine. But who knows? You These skills are not um oh gosh, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to say it. Like just because you know how to do something and you're good at it and you've done it dozens or hundreds of times before doesn't mean when you sit down today you're going to be able to do it. And that's okay. Like as you will be able to do it as long as you keep going, but it can feel really bad or really strange. Like when you go to draw something that you've drawn a lot and for some reason you can't, or you fail, or you do something dumb or bad, especially if you do it in front of an audience. like I just did with that mouth. Um, but that's all right. I'm going to draw hundreds of more mouths in my lifetime. And I bet you at least 10 of them are going to be good. So it'll work out. A little part in the hair, some detail. A little, let's clean up this like rat's nesty part of it. Do that over here too. Let's do the same to the chin, behind the hair. Oh yeah. There we go. Just some hints of where the hair is going to flow. This is another great example of, instead of trying to draw every strand, for example, which I know some people do and it looks great and it takes them 1,000 hours and that's cool. That's a certain style of art that is not for me. You can draw in these like hints about what the hair is doing and trust your audience to figure out the rest. It's a pretty decent sketch. Let's try a new one. What's next? These are pretty big faces. Gosh, it's hot. Let's just do a cat. Cats have little triangle or heart-shaped noses. Their mouths go back off their snouts a little bit. They have some of the most pronounced, I feel like, and like cinematographic, photographic whiskers on cats. I really like the whiskers on cats. And then, of course, cats have really wonderful eyes. We've named an entire semi-precious stone after cat's eyes. Uh, Humans have been admiring the eyes of cats for a very long time. They are retroreflectors, right? So that's why they seem to glow. It's because they do. They reflect all of the light straight back at the direction that the light came from. Wait. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's what retroreflector means. Let's zoom in a tiny bit. Oh, there we go. Let's clean up. I think the eyes got a little away from me, a little thick. Let's bring them in a little bit. And there we go. I think the shape here, that Yeah, the eyes. Yeah, let's just bring the eyes closer to the middle of the face, I think. Yeah. There we go. Hmm. What is this cat's deal? He has very big ears, but maybe he's like the desert, the sand cat. They have gigantic ears that like point kind of forward all the time, have lots of hair. Here we go. We'll give him a little body, some paws. Let's have him lifting a paw up. How would a cat do that? Their front paw is their arm, so this goes backwards. So they would do it sort of pretty straightforward. Okay, just like that. Oh, I should have foreshortened it a little bit more. Sometimes I forget to do the foreshortening until I'm like really thinking about it later. Okay, so if his arm is this long, it gets foreshortened. It would be a lot shorter. Let's move it down. It'll be like bloop and blop. So that's, and then from the shoulder, here we go. Let's move this up a little. Gosh. Okay, we'll do this front paw up at the end. I keep We'll have him sitting kind of a little crooked. His tail will be up in a flicky, playful manner. Come in and get that more precisely outlined now that we have the shape down. There'll be a back leg that will come out here. Again, this is thigh, thigh, knee, yeah, knee, shin, and then the front part. Okay. You can probably see his other back leg just peeking out here. This one is not flat on the ground, so we'll fix that real quick. There we go. Yeah, that's right. Okay. We'll make this front leg more in front by just darkening editing it up, giving it a stricter outline. And now we're back to this leg, which I was saying I wanted to have him lifting up towards us. I can do that. Okay, so if his leg starts here and it goes, oh, it's just very short. We're gonna go. But maybe is a cat's leg just like a human hand, or like it's a hand, right? With like a wrist and a forearm, and then it has an elbow, and then like a big arm and a shoulder. Is that what a cat's arm? Is that how a cat's arm works? Or like, it's sort of like a person like this? Or I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how a cat's front paw works. Front leg? So I think about the back legs, and I finally figured out a way to like really understand how their back paws work. Okay, I think I'm right. I think it is sort of like that, but the hand. Okay, so I think for a cat, is this on? Yeah, I think for a cat, it's more like this. This is like the fingers. This is like the back of the hand. Here's like the heel of the hand, which is their first like leg joint. And then this is like the rest of their paw that goes up into their arm. So maybe this is the hand. This is the wrist. This is the, so it is how I was talking about. Okay. So it's just a matter of getting this to look like, maybe it's just not something cats ever do. Oh, you know what? I think when cats do this, their arm twists and they kind of do something more. I mean, I don't think it's easy for a cat. No, it must be. Well, this is how this cat's doing it. I don't think this looks unnatural. Maybe this cat's head is a little big for his body. But that's okay. Maybe he's a whoa, you know what? Seeing this now, coming back to the cat, the tail is like way high. I don't know what I was thinking. This is something that happens to me all the time, where like I come back to a drawing, even just a couple of minutes later, like now, and I'm like, what the heck was I, what even is that? Who drew this? Me? No. It must have been somebody who can't recognize when something doesn't look right. Oh, you're saying me of the past can't recognize when something doesn't look right? Lee. All right. I think that's that. I would say I'd do a cute version, but these are already cute. Thanks so much for stopping by for my cat paw anatomy lesson, which was just me learning how cat paws work and comparing it to human arms. I hope you have a great day. I'm sketching again tomorrow and a couple more days after that every day, and then I'm going to switch to once a week. And yeah, hopefully I won't struggle so much to figure out what cute thing to draw. Thanks so much. See you later.